Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin O'Neill. This is me reading stuff on iTunes and Podomatic. As you'll notice if you listen to the last episode, that is. My voice is back. Sorry about that After Dark episode. I've told you guys, I naturally project well. AKA, I'm loud as shit. And when I don't speak naturally, when I try to be quiet, I sound like a creep. I remember I had known my friend Trent for about 2.5 years, and we hung out every single day in those 2.5 years, except maybe like 10 days. Well, anyway, in those 2.5 years, he had never heard me try to keep my voice down. But then suddenly we were on the phone for some reason, and I was, again, in a house with sleeping people. So I was doing my best to speak at a low volume, but I could tell, like, the conversation was kind of weird. And when I saw him the next day, he was acting a little strange to me. It turned out he kind of thought that I was hitting on him on the phone the night before. So there was some humorous tension between us. I hope that's not the case with you guys and me right now. What can I say? I was born to speak loudly. I sound bizarre when I try to keep it down. Well, how are you guys doing on a scale of 1 to 12? 12 being the best. Me, I'm an 8.75 on that scale. I would say the only reason I'm not a little higher is because I'm overwhelmed schedule-wise. It's going to be a tough few months for me to get through. Lots and lots of time-consuming stuff on the agenda, but I've gotten through worse, so I'll be good. You guys can help me through it. Guess who's going to Mexico tomorrow? Me, baby. Billy and I rarely get away. It's just not a thing we think to do. Vacations. Neither of us grew up going on many vacations, so it's just not in our blood. And also, we both really like to work, I think. I think that's a part of it. And so, well, anyway. But we have some free nights at a hotel, and we've both been working 7 days a week, long hours all summer long. So we finally decided we got to do this. We've got to have something to look forward to, even if it's just a few nights away. This thing people called getting away, we're going to try it out. For us, though, planning this is truly like other people's version of planning and going to the dentist. It's like, oh, fuck, here we go. Whoa, I don't say that word very often on here, do I? Maybe I do. It felt weird, even though I say it constantly. I'm sorry if that offended anybody. Oh my God. Long story short, the activity we're most looking forward to while we're away, let's see, how do I describe this? We both bought our own copy of Anne Rule's Stranger Beside Me. Do you guys know about that book? Anne Rule is somebody who happened to work at the suicide hotline in Seattle, in the Seattle area, that Ted Bundy also worked at, the night shift at the suicide hotline. He worked there for many years. And she was a crime writer. She was a former police officer, and then she's also a crime writer. And then it turned out this guy she was sitting next to on the overnight shift was Ted Bundy. So she wrote this book all about Ted Bundy. And Billy and I are having Ted Bundy Bookclub, where all we do on this trip is we're going to read this book together on the lazy river at this hotel we're going to. They have a lazy river that goes all around the property. This is going to be great. Another something that's going to be great, that's always been great and is going to be great right now, is my favorite poet, Mark Strand. I've read him numerous times on here, and I'm never going to stop reading him. I don't care. Honestly, I would dedicate every episode to him if I could. I think I might be slightly in love with him, to be honest. He was born in Canada in 1934, and on Prince Edward Island, that is, and he died in New York not long ago in 2014. I'm going to be reading from the collected poems of Mark Strand. This is an Alfred A. Knopf book, published in 2014. All right, I'm going to be reading you Two Horses. On a warm night in June, I went to the lake, got on all fours, and drank like an animal. Two horses came up beside me to drink as well. This is amazing, I thought, but who will believe it? The horses eyed me from time to time, snorting and nodding. I felt the need to respond, so I snorted too, but haltingly, as though not really wanting to be heard. The horses must have sensed that I was holding back. They moved slightly away. Then I thought they might have known me in another life, the one in which I was a poet. They might have even read my poems. For back then, in that shadowy time when our eagerness knew no bounds, we changed styles almost as often as there were days in the year. Oh, Mark Strand, I love you. You guys, you can come check out what I'm up to over on Instagram and Twitter. My handle is at ROBYN_ONEIL. I've been giving you guys some images that you will be seeing in some of my upcoming exhibitions in Dallas, New York, and in Miami. If you happen to be in Texas, my solo exhibition at Tally Dunn Gallery is going to open on November 12th. And then in New York City, February 2nd at Susan Inglett Gallery. I hope you guys are taking things one day at a time. I hope you're seeing the good in others. I hope you're giving yourself a little quiet time. I hope you're staying tidy. Keep donating old clothes to the Goodwill. I've been getting rid of so much shit and I love it. Send someone you love an unexpected text that tells them something you like about them. I think something small like, I like how you talk to waiters, or I don't know why I'm talking like I'm unable to speak properly, or you look pretty when you're tired. Ooh, whoa, that's a weird one. Don't do that. Scratch that. This is a horrible idea. Don't be a total creep. That's good advice. And lastly, give yourself a break. You're doing a great job. I believe it. I can tell. Whoa, I almost choked on my own spit. This episode is dedicated to my hero of the week, Lieutenant Joe Kenda of Colorado Springs. Lieutenant Joe Kenda, I love you more than I could ever express. You guys, you listeners, have a great weekend. I'll be thinking about you while I'm reading about Ted Bundy on the lazy river in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Also, you look pretty when you're tired. Bye-bye, everybody.